Did you guys see the Chris Rock special yet?
Yeah.
I did
All
not.
right. I
avoided it.
So here's what I did,
Don't
actually,
see.
Woody. I saw the clips where he talks about Will Smith, went for the jugular, cut his head off, like no mercy, no salt the fields. He went full bore.
You're allowed to get revenge.
I'm usually pretty good at doing that George Costanza thing, where if I get to sit in my living room, I can come up with some awful shit. I was at a loss. I was like, "You got it all, bro. You hit it from top to bottom." The only thing he didn't do was go after the man's children, and that's where he stopped. He stopped just short of hitting his kids. And but I mean, he did reference the kid like for the he was like, "Yeah, you fucking your son's friends." Your son's friend is fucking your wife or whatever. He's like going hard in the paint. So after seeing those shorts on YouTube, the 3 or 4 minutes that takes up in this special, I was like, shit, where is this special? It's on Netflix. So I clicked it. Man, I got like 8 minutes in, and it's something about like he's still doing that. You know how Chris Rock sounds.
Yeah, I want to stop you there because that was my point. I like the show 7 out of 10. Chris Rock jokes are fat, so fucking fat. There is nothing but fat on that steak. Like a Chris Rock, it sounds like this. I'll be like, moms always be pushing strollers. Man, moms pushing strollers. I just see stroller pushing moms pushing strollers all the time. Moms be pushing strollers, moms. And I'm like, oh, fuck, he says the same.
He's in love with the sound of his own voice.
And it's like, good gosh, like this guy had 6 jokes that he stretched out for 90 minutes. Because every one of them is the fattest joke you've ever heard a comedian told.
Talking so much. There's so much. There's so much going on and not much
bad timing.
He said he's speaking a lot and saying very little, and he's just really leaning into that classic Chris Rock like sort of delivery that I loved in his specials a decade or two ago. But now it's like, oh man, you're still doing the exact same thing. Like even Adam Sandler ain't out there singing Hanukkah songs.
Yeah,
like, talk to your boy. Like he evolved a little. Like come on, do a different thing.
Yeah, you know who else I don't find funny is Kevin Hart. Like when Kevin Hart does his stand-up routines, I find him, I'll chuckle a bit, but there's no belly laugh for me. There's no almost crying. You know what I mean?
I haven't watched much of his stand-up.
Dave Chappelle found a way to spit in white people's faces and make them enjoy it. Dave Chappelle.
Well, he's a genuinely very funny guy, which is why it's easy to laugh because he's
Dave
funny.
Chappelle's a fucking master at that. He's constantly like shitting on white people the whole time, and I don't mind because it's hilarious and it's true. Almost everything he's saying is at least mostly true. I love when he talks about living amongst the poor whites.
Yeah.
I love it.
Kyle, I think you
Trump's not fighting for you; he's fighting for me.
Kyle, you sent me that clip of him like doing his SNL monologue. And like you could see him like shifting nervously in a way that like he had never shifted before.
Yeah.
And
it was like, oh damn, like this has got Dave Chappelle scared. Like he's not afraid of that kind of shit.
What did he seem to be? He backed Kanye? Is that what was he?
Just
scared?
a little bit. He did. It was more like a
thing.
It was his dog.
Yeah, he was pointing out how standing up against can get you.
He said if it's Italians, it's the mob. If it was what else? Something
black
else.
people, it's a gang. If it's a coincidence,
we don't talk about it.
That's a funny line.
Old school Dave Chappelle, I can still watch it this day and start laughing my ass off. Like,
the Dave Chappelle
what's in the fridge? What's that purple stuff? You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, when his wife friend Chet was gonna race the cop.
Yeah,
they're at the stoplight, and he does his white guy voice, and it goes, "Hey, Dave, let's race." And Dave goes, "I was smoking, so I should have said one thing, and I said, nigga, I do what nigga I do." You know, it's like classic Dave Chappelle stuff. Like
I think it's really cool that him and Joe Rogan have had that like friendship going way back, like to so far. I saw a clip a couple days ago, and it's Dave Chappelle was on the streets, I think in New York, and he's filming a skit for his show, for the Chappelle Show, where he's like, best breasts in New York City or New York City gold ribbon titties or something. And he's just like ogling, like, come here, ma'am, you've got A-class titties, and like giving her a fucking
those are
award.
some New York City titties.
Yeah.
Puts the band
And
on.
Joe Rogan was literally walking down the sidewalk and was like, Dave? And he's like, Joe, hey, you want to be in a skit, Joe Rogan? and so Joe Rogan's the one holding the box full of ribbons for titties.
Yeah.
And helping
He had
them judge the titties.
He had a lot of great guests on that show. Like, oh my God. Like, oh, shoot. What's it? Charlie? The guy who plays the guitar. John, and he goes
Mayer?
into the John Mayer. When he had John Mayer on, and he goes, oh, this is what black people like and what the black people like and what white people like. And he goes in the barber shop, and you know, John's going crazy on the guitar. And the black guys goes, man, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And then he takes the cape off the drum set, and Questlove is there, and he starts playing the drums, and they're going like this, and then they bring in the Spanish guy, and he starts singing, and then the Spanish people start there. Like he had some great guests on that show, man. Like that was amazing, perfect TV on that.
I like Charlie Murphy. I think he's probably my favorite part of
oh my gosh. Oh,
his skits were just really funny.
R.I.P.
That shit came out right as I was graduating high school, so we watched that nonstop.
Oh my gosh. It was between that and the Haters Club and
Charlie
Haters Ball.
Yeah, when they're looking at women pictures
and Mississippi.
He sees a picture of Rosie O'Donnell, and she goes, she looks like she wears men's she looks like she wears men's underwear with a dick hole in the front. And they all start laughing, and they're really laughing. It's not just for the camera type of thing. Like they're just roasting. It's like, oh my gosh, great comedy. But comedians do this weird thing where they get money and they change it up. Yep. And it's like when they get rich, like Jim Carrey movies at the beginning, beautiful, amazing, hilarious. But when you get a certain amount of money, they don't have to do the weird funny stuff anymore. And they, like Jack Black used to have the funniest. Saving Silverman with Jack Black was one of the funniest movies ever made. And he had to kidnap his friend because he had this evil girlfriend, you know what I mean? But then Jack started getting real money, and he started, getting more serious, and it's like, that's why I like comedians who are broke at first, because that's when they have to put the work in.
He does that Jumanji stuff now, right? Like, I just think he elevated to more like,
but it's not funny Jack Black.
Well, it's not slapstick Jack Black. It's playing. I think he's supposed to be a girl in Jumanji or something.
Yeah.
I like it when they change it up a little bit. What I don't like is Jim Carrey playing Jim Carrey for 20 years in a row. Will Ferrell playing Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell's the worst.
Will Ferrell.
Will's giving you what you want. See, Will's giving him exactly what he wants.
Yeah, okay. I don't want it anymore.
Exactly. We're seeing
Steve Martin, right?
This is a difference in cultures. That it just happened. All right. You like that Will Ferrell is still doing the fucking 70-year-old clown now. Like he's still doing the bits that he did on SNL in 1994.
Love it.
Or whenever it was.
Love it.
Not me.
Oh my!
I have more.
Really, Talladega Nights? You did not like friggin'
what year did Talladega Nights come out?
The 90s,
like 2008.
Is it that old? Jesus,
probably.
Like 20 years ago.
Okay, the one he went to prison was that was old too. Okay, whatever.
That was old too, I guess. Oh fuck. He doesn't do as much now. Maybe I don't know.
2023.
I liked him in Elf was his best movie. I think.
That's my point, though. He got that money. He's not doing as funny.
Yeah.
I think he just got old and he's been doing the same thing over and over, and it's just not funny anymore to me. I like Jim Carrey's gotten super wacky in the last 3 years or so. Like, I don't know if y'all follow Jim Carrey, but he's gotten like
in the last 10 years.
Bit of a loon.
No. And very recently it's like personality disorder weird. Like he's an odd fellow. He's like, I've always been playing a character. There's the character of like this guy of Harry, and there's this that, and then there's the Jim Carrey character that I put on that I've always been putting on. There's this Jim Carrey character out here. Oh, I like giving interviews and talking to you people. I don't. And then like he's just like really having a bit of an existential crisis, and I don't care because I just want him to do I don't know Ace Ventura 4 or whatever the fuck and talk to a raccoon again, or just shut up.
Yeah.
That was his peak. Okay, Jim, just do that alrighty then for us, for you, please.
Alrighty then.
Exactly.
Man, that movie's so fucking funny. Like,
yeah.
I guarantee if I were to, because I remember watching Ace Ventura as a kid, in the 90s and like crying, laughing.
Yep.
I know if I turned that on like after the show tonight, I would get laughs from it. Yep. Like especially the original one, Pet Detective. I bet I would. You don't think so? There was funny shit in there.
I don't think I can.
What was the one where he crawls out of the rhino's ass?
That's the second one. That's Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Where they're in Africa.
When I was 13, I died laughing when he's crawling out of that rhino's fake rubber butthole. And the thing is, like, a safari comes along with children, and they're like, "Look, children, the miracle of life." And here's this like naked man falling out of a rhino's ass. It was really fun. And like something at the end when he's chasing that guy down in a monster truck, like whole thing. I love that shit. But you know, that was 20 something years ago, 25, 30 years ago, maybe. Yeah.
Old now.
Still could be funny, though.